All right, let's just jump right in. When you look at a plant, what do you really see? Something green, maybe some flowers, but pretty much static, right? It's just there. Well, it turns out there's this whole secret world of action, strategy, and even communication happening in total silence, right under our noses. Okay, check this out. This is the Mimosa pudica, but you might know it as the touch-me-not plant. The second you touch it, bam, the leaves just collapse. We're talking a reaction that's faster than a blink. But here's the kicker. It has no brain, no nerves, and not a single muscle. So how on earth is it doing that? That's the big mystery we're going to unravel today. You see, this super fast folding is what I like to call the plant world's action movie moment. It's fast, it's dramatic, and it just completely shatters that whole idea of plants being these passive, boring things. These incredible movements have a name. They're called nastic movements.
So what exactly is a nastic movement? Well, here's the key. It's a response to something, like a touch. But, and this is the cool part, it doesn't matter where the touch comes from. You can poke it from the top, the side, the bottom. The leaf is going to fold up in the exact same way every single time. And just as important, it's not permanent. Give it a few minutes and those leaves will open right back up. Good as new.
So, back to our mystery. How does it pull this off without any muscles? It's all about water. Yeah, really. See, plant cells stay firm and rigid because they're full of water. It's called turgor pressure. Think of it like a fully inflated balloon. But when you touch this plant, it triggers special little pumps at the base of the leaves to flush the water out of those cells, like instantly. The cells lose all that pressure, they go limp, and the whole leaf structure just collapses. It's literally like letting the air out of a balloon all at once.
Now, these lightning-fast reactions are absolutely mind-blowing, but believe it or not, they're only half the story. It seems plants live life at two different speeds. We've just seen the fast, reversible stuff. So now, let's get into their other mode, the slow, methodical, and totally permanent.
So you've got these quick reflexes on one side, right? But on the other side, you have these slow, deliberate actions that change the plant for the rest of its life. These two different ways of moving really show us two completely different strategies for how to survive in the world.
And this chart really lays it all out. You've got tropic movements over here. They're slow, they're permanent, and they're all about growth in a specific direction. And then you have the nastic movements we just talked about. Super fast, totally temporary, and non-directional. So you can think of it like this. One is a long-term plan for the future, and the other is an immediate, in-the-moment defense.
So let's zoom in on that slow-motion strategy. This is really how a plant explores its world, how it finds food, how it searches for light, and how it anchors itself to the ground. These movements, which are called tropisms, are how a plant literally sculpts its own body to thrive.
Now, unlike that nastic reflex, a tropism is all about growth. The plant is literally building itself cell by cell towards something it wants, like the sun, or away from something it doesn't, like growing against the pull of gravity. And every single one of these moves is a permanent change to the plant's body.
And you know what? Plants are incredibly aware. They can sense and grow based on light, gravity, water, touch. They can even sense chemicals in the soil. It's pretty amazing. Let's just quickly break down some of the most important ones.
Okay, let's start with two you've probably seen before. First up, phototropism. That's just the response to light. The stem of a plant shows positive phototropism, meaning it literally bends towards the light to get as much sun as possible. Then you've got geotropism, which is the response to gravity. So how does a plant know which way is up? The stem grows up against gravity. That's called negative geotropism, while the roots always grow down with gravity. That's positive geotropism.
But if you're a plant, what's maybe the most important thing of all? Water, right? So how does it find it? That's where hydrotropism comes in. This is the wild ability of a plant's roots to actually sense where moisture is in the soil and then actively grow in that direction. It's a critical life-or-death tool.
And one more for you, thigmotropism. This is a growth response to touch. You see it all the time in climbing plants, like peas or ivy. The moment one of its little tendrils touches a fence post or a trellis, that touch stimulates it to start coiling around it, letting the plant climb higher and higher to get more sunlight. I mean, how cool is that?
So let's just take a breath. We've seen plants that make lightning-fast defensive moves, and plants that make slow, calculated decisions about how to grow. They can sense light, gravity, water, and touch with incredible precision. So this brings us right back to our big question. If there's no brain, what's in charge? Who or what is pulling the strings?
Well, the answer isn't some tiny plant brain or a nervous system. It's something way more subtle and honestly way more elegant. It's an invisible, complex network of chemical signals. We are about to meet the real masterminds behind every single thing a plant does: plant hormones.
You know, hormones in plants actually work a lot like they do in our own bodies. They're basically chemical messengers that travel all around the plant, telling different parts what to do and when to do it. They control, well, pretty much everything, from how tall it grows to when it flowers to how it handles stress. This right here, this is the plant's command center.
Now, there are 5 main groups of plant hormones, and each one has a very specific job. You can think of them like a team of specialists, all working together to help the plant win at the game of life. So, let's do a quick meet and greet with these all-stars. First up, the big one, the most famous of the bunch, auxins. This is the growth boss. Remember how we saw plants bending toward the light? Well, auxins are the reason why. When sunlight hits a stem, the auxins actually run away from the light and gather on the shady side. Their job is to tell those cells to get longer, to stretch out. So the shady side starts growing faster than the sunny side, and that difference in speed is what physically causes the stem to bend right towards the light. It is such a simple and brilliant system.
And then you've got the rest of the crew. Gibberellins are kind of like the growth promoters, helping with stem growth and waking up seeds. Cytokinins are the cell dividers, pushing for rapid growth in fruits and seeds. Then you get the regulators. Abscisic acid, or ABA, is the emergency brake, slamming the brakes on growth when the plant is stressed, like during a drought. And finally, there's ethylene, which is actually a gas. It's the ripener, the signal that tells fruit it's time to get sweet and leaves when it's time to fall off. Every single one has a vital role to play.
So here's what it all comes down to. That slow, graceful lean towards the sun that happens over weeks, and the lightning-fast snap of a leaf that happens in an instant, they're both being controlled by the exact same thing, a complex dance of chemical signals. It's a silent language of hormones that dictates every single move a plant makes.
Which leaves us with one last big idea to chew on. Plants can sense their world, they can react to it, they coordinate all of their parts and communicate with this incredibly sophisticated chemical language. They are not just passive decorations. They are active, strategic, living things. So maybe the real question isn't just how they do all this, but whether all this complex behavior should make us totally rethink our definition of what it even means to be alive.